Hello, hello. Howdy there, troopers and nurses. We get to continue where we left off with Ostriv, but I also do want to. Why is my thing not showing? Okay, but I can't see my. What? Oh, there we go. Oh, no, no. Give me a second. Let's see if I can just close it and restart it. Okay, there we go. That's working. Oh. Oh. Wait, what is going on? Oh, come on, you were working. Plus that. I'll work on this. Let me do that. Anyways, like I said, we can continue. No, don't want to have it. There we go. Okay, that fixed it. Anyways, like I was saying, guys, we'll talk about. We'll finish doing this, but we'll also talk about the crazy, chaotic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Or used to be called Brazilian Grand Prix, in the NASCAR race at Martinsville, which is a little controversial, to say the least, apparently. But, okay, so, let's see. We got that going. It's a mine, stone mining camp. Okay. Well, that's going. Yeah, that'll be continued later. What do I want to put in here? Iron, metal. Oh, let's see what's at the camp still. Iron. Yeah, let's go put the iron in here. Fuck it. Iron. 1,000. Women. Women gonna do heavy labor now. Okay. So, I guess let's start with Formula One. So, going to Brazil after Mexico. And Mexico, that was won by Science. But Max and Lando are having their fight in the opening laps, and yeah, that was a little over the top. But so coming in, it looked like Lando was still gonna gain some more points on Max for the title. Well, that was a hope, anyways. But with that, free practice, besides a couple of spins, I don't think a lot happened. But then you got sprint qualifying, which was Friday. My Friday early afternoon. So it was a McLaren front row PS3 Norris, and it was Leclerc Verstappen. They were three and 4 tenths off PS3. Yeah, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Lawson, Albon finished in the top 10. Behrman was 10th, but he crashed out, I believe, in Q3 or SQ3. Then he had Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Perez, Colapinto, and Bottas. Next 5, and then Alonso, Ocon, Tsunoda, Stroll, and Joe. And if that wasn't an opening sign of how bad Aston Martin's weekend was going to be, oh, it got worse than this. A lot worse. I mean, Colapinto, which was it's going to be the closest race to a home race that he can have, had a lot of support. Unfortunately, didn't go too well for sprint qualifying. But for the sprint, it was a decent race. McLaren were being a little hit or miss, kind of playing fuck games with team orders, because Piastri was, in my opinion, a lot faster than Norris during the qualifying. And not qualifying, sorry, during the actual sprint race. Like, they had to keep telling him to slow down so he could get DRS to keep away from Leclerc and Verstappen. Well, so that goes on for the majority of the 20 laps. And then Hulkenberg, his engine decides to give out. And he tries getting back around, but ends up stopping halfway through Sector 2. Pulls off to the road, trying to get it restarted or whatever, or trying to move it closer to the guardrails, out of the way. But he sits there for a while with double yellow flags just in Sector 2. So the race keeps going. And I think that gone on for like 3 or 4 laps. But during that time, that's when McLaren finally decided to switch Piastri and Norris to get Norris up more points, so that gain on Max. But they waited so long that Max was right there. But they got lucky, because right when that happened, about a lap later, Hulkenberg had got out of the car, was walking to the sidelines. Or not sidelines, but off the track into where the marshals are. And you see this, I remember seeing it on live feed, that you see the cars come around and you see Hulkenberg walking from his car to the marshal post in the background. Like, what's going on? And that's when they, until that was aired on TV, they didn't call a virtual safety car. Right after that, a VSE. That goes on, I think, for like 2 laps. Lap and a half, maybe. And, but during that time, Max had got past Leclerc. I can't remember exactly when. So he's been hounding Piastri. Well, on the restart, they're coming down from 3 on the straightaway down to 4. And they get the warning sign that, hey, it's going to end. So Max, there's a little cheeky speed up, but that's because usually when they're about to go green, a lot of them speed up just a little bit, because he can kind of get away with it. And so, but he speeds up too much, about 0.6 of a second too quick. And so either misjudged it or they took longer to release it than normal. Because to me, it seemed like once the VSC ending thing came up, it seemed like it was on a little longer, but they always say 10 to 15. So it seemed more closer to 15. Anyways, but can't get the move done on Piastri. They kind of stayed like that until they crossed the line for the last like lap and a half. Or half a lap, I think it was. But because he breached it, Max got a penalty. They had 5 seconds, but it only dropped him down to fourth behind Leclerc. So Norris got 2 or 3 points on him because how they do the points. 876. Yeah, so he got I got 3 points on him. Then came time for the actual qualifying, which was 3 hours later. But holy moly, it looked like a hurricane monsoon just sat on top of the track the whole time it was supposed to be during qualifying. So they decided to call it off for that day and do it Saturday or Sunday morning. But it was still raining. And that was probably the longest qualifying session I have sat through for Formula One. Almost 2 hours. 5 red flags. And it was wet the whole time. So there's no real fast laps. I believe did it start on wets and then go to intermediates? Let's see. I don't know if the app will tell me. I don't want the race. Not the race. There we go. Fucking ads. Qualifying report. Let's see about that. Okay, Q1. Okay, there's 2 stoppages here. Okay, that's happened there. Okay, that's all right. So Hamilton gets knocked out because Norris just makes the top 15. Just. Lawson went off at sectors 2 and 3. And then indicates Joe. They delivered shortly after. Joe did the same thing at the same part of the circuit. Stroll had a brief trip on the grass. Bottas. Okay, so yeah, that's right. Q1 was wet tires. Bottas was the first one on the intermediate. Halfway through. P1, yeah. That's right. Colapinto went off. I don't think I saw that one. I think I missed that one. Yeah. I was awake. Mind you, this was early in the morning. Normally I sleep in on Sundays. Went off into turn 3. So let's see who was dropped. So you had Hamilton 15, or sorry, 16th. Behrman and Hulkenberg 17 and 19 respectively. Colapinto was 18. Joe was 20. So Q2, they're on intermediates this whole time. I think it's going to be intermediates for rest of qualifying. There were a couple guys still using wets. I started on wets, went to intermediates. That's right. We're going to take that. Ben. Well, it sights off at 30 yellow flags, which became the second red flag. Yeah, okay, so the second red flag with sights spinning off at turn 2. That one looked like he throttled up just way too soon. And spun it off turn 2's, what's it called? Curb. inside curb apex, or apex curbing on the inside, spun it off, and went backwards into the wall that heads the inside of turn 3. Obviously knocking him out, so that's another red flag. And then Stroll crashed, but this one was a little controversial because it was somewhere between 30 to 50 seconds to red flag it. But I believe that was due to the marshals, believing he still could go, because I believe the team was telling him to attempt to restart it, refire the car, and try to get it back. But when we finally got a look at the car, at least I don't think the suspension was completely damaged, but at least the toe link was completely bent on one of his rear tires. And so just couldn't do it. There was that. But doing that, it caught out a bunch of drivers. Max Verstappen, for one, he was on a quick lap. I think a personal best lap so far to that point. But with it being called, obviously he couldn't complete his lap, and so it caused a lot of problems. He was pretty mad about it, because if they called it within 5 seconds of Lance crashing, he probably could have made it around and got another lap in before the end of the session. But because of that, it was under like 2 minutes or whatever, and time could have been restarted, or under a certain amount of time, so it wasn't going to be resumed. So Max got knocked out. He was P12. Bottas was P11. Perez 13. Sainz 14. Gasly 15. But with Verstappen, he had taken a new engine, so he had an engine penalty, dropped him down to P17 at the end of it. Now going on to 3, they were all on intermediates. Stroll made it through, but because of his crash, he obviously sat out Q3. Who else? It was obviously with the intermediate track slowly drying, and they I think they're doing like fast lap, slow lap, fast lap, slow lap. I don't believe there was a lot of coming back into the pits, besides maybe fill up or top off if they needed it. Then Alonso crashed. Where did he crash again? I can't remember exactly where. But I believe he had gotten onto the paint, which paint when wet is slippery, especially for cars. Rubber and paint and water do not mix. Before we continue that, I do need to build stone storage. Put that there. Okay. And then later on, how many minutes? 3 minutes left. Albon had a crash. That one, again, with being wet, went on the paint going into turn 1 on the outside. They have a water line. And right when that happened, he had a little snap, attempted to correct, and when it bit into the ground again, it just flung him. Not flung him, but spun him around and just walloped the wall. And slid down into the runoff on turn 1. Completely totaled the car to the point where he could not compete in the race later in the day. So he was pretty beat up. Let's see. Then, as the final came in, Norris went fastest on a 123. What was the top 10 on it? Let's pull the top results. Top 10 was Norris, Russell, Tsunoda, Ocon, Lawson, Leclerc, Albon, Piastri, Alonso, Stroll. Norris had a real good lap. Russell had a good lap. Russell's pretty good in the wet, so he brought a horrible car up pretty high. Tsunoda and Lawson did great for RB. Ocon did good. Not where it should be. Leclerc, you would expect him to do a little better. Albon had his crash, but he still got 7th. Piastri in 8th. Alonso in 9th. And that was based on the lap he had before the crash. And the Stroll did not compete. I believe Alon. Yeah, I don't think they had to start from the pit lane. Oh, that's right. During the sprint, there's like 3 people that started from the pit lane. I believe it was both Astons and Colapinto. Could be wrong. No, it wasn't Colapinto. Who was it? I can't remember. And then for the race, that was crazy. Holy mother of God. Max started in P17. Checo had a place at P12. Hamilton had a place at what? I think it ended up being P15 or 14. Sainz had a place, I believe. Yeah, Sainz had a place because of his crash. And then, so you had Norris and Russell in the front row. And if you've been following Formula One, Norris starting for pole is not very good. I don't think he's too aggressive or not aggressive enough. And so with that, down into turn 1, Russell sends it up on the inside because Norris doesn't block it off, and then Russell leads for the next 20 something laps until there's a red flag, or no, sorry, there's a safety car because it started really raining pretty hard. But during that Colapinto crash, coming out of turn 13 or 14 onto the straightaway, and he just smacked the wall. And unfortunately, where he hit, it was only concrete because you're not expecting to go too quick there. So no Tech Pro, no tires, no Safer Bear, and smack concrete. Totaled that car. But a couple laps before that had happened, before the safety car came out, Russell, Norris, Tsunoda, and a few others had pit for tires. Some went on wet, someone went on new intermediates. By this point, Max was up to 5th? Was it 5th? I believe 5th. But after so that came out, they red flagged it because of the accident and probably also because of the water. They come down, everybody gets, I did forget, Hulkenberg had spun off at one point. And then he had help getting back on because he was sitting on the old banking in the runoff of turn 1. And he was beached on it, but there was no damage to the car. He was not in gravel, so they just kind of pushed him off that little ledge or lip and drove off, thinking, "Oh, hey, I'm fine." Like, I wasn't stuck in gravel, and it was just a quick push. But because he got outside assistance, he got disqualified, which kind of sucks because that was a good race. Could have been a really good race for Haas. There's some guys having off the whole time too. Nothing too crazy. Oh, I did forget the most funny thing that I saw happen was Roll binning it on the outlap. Not outlap, sorry, the formation lap. He I guess something happened with his rear brakes. I don't know if they're just poorly adjusted, not warm enough, or whatever the case may be. Locks up, going in turn forward, spins off. He's might have had a little nose damage, but you know what? He can continue. He just needs to get it turned around. Well, instead of turning it around, or turning it around or backing it out or going down the escape road that was there. He goes to turn around and just puts it into the gravel. Because, yep, that's the talent we got from him. And, yeah, he had to get out, obviously. Mine went blank there for a sec. Then he because of that, I think the safety car following him anyways. They picked him up, but they had to have workers on track, so it became an aborted start. But with the aborted start, he what's it called? You're not supposed to leave the grid during an aborted start. But Norris, either this team forgot about that rule, he forgot about it, or they didn't communicate it to him. He decided to take off and do another lap, which was the wrong call. A bunch of people, or a couple of people, went with him, but some didn't move because they shut the car off, thinking since it was an aborted start and everything. And then I think it was an aborted start, but that didn't happen. So Norris and Russell were under investigation for the rest of the race, and that ended up being a 5,000 pound or euro, I can't remember, fine after the race. Then with that, they went to going back to where we were, red flag. I believe it was delayed maybe like 30 minutes, if that. Obviously everybody got new tires. Hulkenberg got disqualified, so he got taken out while they're in the pit lane, and they had that all go down. And then what's it called? They restarted. It was a good restart by Ocon. Took the lead, kind of kept it. Oh yeah, Albon didn't start, but I already said that during the qualifying part. Then that Ocon had a good start. He kept the lead. They went on for another couple of laps, and then Sainz was, I believe, fighting with Perez, Hamilton, and Lawson. He went wide after 3 So 4, 5, 6, turn 6 or 7, went wide going into turn 7 or 8. Hit the paint while braking and just locked up and spun him into the wall. That got him taken out, which caused another, I believe, safety car this time. So they get him all cleaned up. They get the race back going. Verstappen makes an amazing dive bomb on Ocon. So, mind you, he's gone from P17 now to first. We still got a little more, or a little less than halfway left in the race. And so he scampers off into the distance at one point, setting like 17 fastest laps. And getting up to like a 20-something second lead in that amount of time. Norris had it off because he misjudged who was on, how many cars were on the inside, and I believe he had hit the white paint again into turn 1, and so he locked up, went into the what's it called? I'm having a blank. I'm tired. Went into turn 1, overran it. Did he have a spin, or did he just lock up, go straight into the runoff, and then come back? I can't remember. There was a couple bumps. Some people got penalties, like 5-second penalties. Some of them weren't too crazy. Alonso had an off. Behrman had an off. Perez had a spin, but it was like lap 1. I think Piastri had it off, but I know he also had a penalty, I believe. I could be wrong. Or it's Norris. Somebody had, another one person had a penalty. Perez, Hamilton, Lawson fought for the rest of the time. They're all within a second the whole time from each other. For like at one point there was less than a second between Lawson and Perez. So 9, 10, 11 were all under a second from each other. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but for Max that was an amazing drive. I don't know, I had the feeling, and it seemed like some of the people were talking about it on the air, that Max had a chance to win if it had stayed the wet and rainy conditions the whole time, like it did. And so obviously he took advantage of that and won. Good for him. That was a pretty good drive, especially the 17 fastest laps. Even his engineer told him he can cut it out. He didn't need to go that fast. But with that, he extended his lead. Now it's like 60-something points. So the championship for the most part's over with 3 remaining races. But you know what? That's what you get when you get an inexperienced driver going up against a 3-time champ. So moving on to NASCAR. I was busy, so I couldn't catch practice or qualifying. It was a really good race. I followed Byron. He's my guy. He needed to stay in during that thing. It was just a great race. Not too many cautions, just a couple of spins and stuff, bumping and rubbing. It's Martinsville. Tempers. Your front and rear bumpers are going to get used up. Your tires are going to get used up. Four tires turn better than 2. Or sorry, 8 tires turn better than 4. So yeah, had that. But with NASCAR, the real controversy for that race came down to the last 25 laps. With NASCAR, you got 3 manufacturers, and Ford, Toyota, and Chevy, and they all when they can, they tend to work together as manufacturing teams. And so towards the end, the number 1 at Chastain and number 3 Austin Dillon caught Byron, but if they passed them, or if both of them or at least one of them passed them, he'd be knocked out. It could not advance to the round of 4 for the championship. And so they decided to run side by side, run a block for him from the cars behind, and is presumed under, because of some of the communications over the radio, that it was a Chevy doing, to tell him, hey, do not pass, or at least attempt not to pass. Byron, so he could stay in the playoffs. And at least keep one Chevy in the playoffs, because if he had gone back one more position, Bell would have been in. But Bell is like a lap down, and only a couple people are on his lap down, but he only needed to pass one. So that whole Byron thing continues on, and he holds his position until the end of the race. Well, Bell had to gain 1 position on Byron since he wasn't losing one. Or gain 1 position because Byron wasn't losing his. And people don't believe Bubba was having a tire go down, because Bell is on the same team that Bubba's car owner is on, Denny Hamlin. And so they have very close ties, and also manufacturing ties, because they're both Toyotas. So people speculate that it was false, not a false, what is it? A feint, or what can I think of? I'm tired. A fake tire going down. And so he kind of just, it was the last lap, turn 3 and 4 of the last lap, so the last turn of the lap basically. He just pulls off with the tire going down, quote unquote. And so Bell shoots it up on the inside, but he shoots it up so hard because he is like 3-4 cars back or something like that. He overshoots a turn, runs into the wall, thinking, oh, he's just going to bounce off and then try limp it through the rest of the turn. But instead of doing that, he keeps against the wall, throttles up like Chastain did a few years ago. And so he technically completes the pass, but because he throttled up and kept it in, it's a safety violation. Like if he had hit the wall, bounced off, and then throttled up off the wall, he would have been fine. But since he did it while still on the wall, it's a safety violation, and so he got DQ'd for that. And so that kept Byron in. So Blaney won. You had Byron. So going to Champ 4 is Logano, Reddick, Blaney, and Byron. Which honestly, only 2 of those people really belong in there. I believe the other 2 should have been Larson and Bell. So I believe it should have been Larson and Byron for Chevy, and then Reddick and Bell for Toyota. I don't believe a lot of the other people, or I don't believe Logano, especially Logano. Blaney, you can kind of make it up. He'd been a lot better than Logano the whole year. To me, at least more consistent. So that's my thoughts. I believe the final 4 should have been Larson, Bell, Byron, and Reddick. Whatever, we got what we got. So, but there was a lot of controversy, and it took them like 30 minutes to an hour to fully get everything organized and fixed. And since it was a safety issue, I don't believe JGR can actually appeal it. I don't believe so. I could be wrong. But yeah, they had all that, which was a little crazy. I gotta put a burial. Where do I put it? Where do I put it? Hold shift, please. Left click to place. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh. Oh, pardon me. I guess we could probably put the church here at some point. There we go. The church is down. We got to do a smeltery now because we're gonna need some iron. Put it there. What does that need? Wood nail it down. Okay, cool. I do need to put more houses down. But with that, now it's off to Phoenix. Again, like I said, my guy's Byron, so I'm gonna hope he wins. Hendrick is very hit or miss at Phoenix, which honestly I do not like the race being at Phoenix, and it should rotate. I heard Kevin Harvick have a good idea of rotate it between Vegas, Homestead, and Phoenix because they're all fairly warm during that time of year. But you don't have the same race every year. In Phoenix, it's very hit or miss if it puts on a good race or not, in my opinion. But if we're going by who's good there, then it's probably, I don't know if, I think it probably put Reddick, Logano, Blaney, Byron. Probably in that order, unfortunately for me. But that's probably an order about who usually run best from the past couple of years with the next gen car there that I can remember off the top of my head. I don't got any of that. I don't got anything there. I don't got anything there. Oh, apricots, apples, cherries, apricot. Yeah, ooh, I need to put which cherries? Is it this one? Yeah, okay, so cherry and beef need to be switched. Cherries. Worker. Where's cherries? And now go beef. Yeah, there's all that. And so yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hope he wins. Hope Byron wins, because to me that'll be a makeup for last year. Because he, by points, especially if he went by like old school, like Winston Cup points, and I think even by chase points, he still would have won because he had the most wins, one of the more consistent drivers. And so, if he wins it this year, I'm gonna say to make up for last year. But hey, that's me. Oh, I needed something to drink. My throat was killing me. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Oh, I guess to backtrack a little bit, when it comes to the whole, they're manipulating the outcome of the race by like the teams with their manufacturers saying like, hey, don't pass this guy or let this guy pass or whatever. Well, look, if you really need to punish that, punish the manufacturer, not the individual team or driver that benefited or whatever. And how you would do that is all the cars that participated in it would not earn points for that race. So like so Byron, Chastain, and Dylan, both on the Chevy side of the owner, not for the manufacturer side of the championship, would not earn any points. The individual driver and team would get the points, but not the manufacturer, since it was a manufacturing choice of do not pass him. And then then it would be the same for Bell and Wallace. Both those cars would not get points for the championship for the manufacturer, because it was a manufacturing decision, not a team decision. Even though they all were close, because again, same manufacturer. The only problem with people like that, though, is that when it comes to working with manufacturers, you can't really do anything about like plate racing, because with plate racing, it's all working with your manufacturing. Like all Chevys will work with all Chevys, Toyotas will work with Toyotas, and so you can't really do it like that. But you know what? Whatever. Some people are like, "Oh my god," but that kind of stuff's been going on in motorsports all the time. Just people don't like to talk about it. They like to put it away and not want to worry about it. But people are gonna complain. I don't know how you complain so much, because it hurts my head when I do. I'm getting too old for that. Build a farm to produce food for your citizens and future livestock. I probably should. Probably build it out here. That's what I would say. Yeah, build out build out housing this way and this way. Put a lot of this stuff here. Put more of the farming stuff out here. There we go. Construction, sheep farm, chicken coop farm. Yeah. Put that right there. Oh, and he's gonna get their own water over here, because that's gonna be needed for the oxen. And oh my god, sometimes they do not like to feed their own goddamn animals, and it's really fucking annoying. Ugh. Let's see. How many wide? How many deep? I mean, what am I gonna need to make? I know wheat, potatoes. What else? The potato. And since this is Eastern Europe, let's make potato pancakes and pierogies, because those are amazing. And yes, my grandfather's Polish, and he home makes pierogies. So I have the church and the bend there. And yes, everybody's gonna have to go through the graveyard, because fuck them. Look at all the dead. Be sad. Oh, this song's pretty good. Oh, my throat. Right there. New cart parking. I'll put that up front real quick. How many people do we got building? Oh, we got almost everybody building that we need. Oh my god, I need more food variety. Isn't enough. Have you guys not harvested anything yet? years planted, 1. Okay, so you're probably not going to harvest till what, like the next year. So you got to plan that stuff out. Yes, yes. Build, 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 build. So that's the only hard part about this game is balancing who's working, how much is working, what's getting worked, to how many people you got. And until you get enough people, that is, it's always a balance. But once everything you need to make food, money, and everybody happy, you kind of make it equilibrium where you can start really adding stuff and all that you don't have to worry about running out of people and manpower to do things. Like there's times where like I'll have only like 2 or 3 people building because like I need everything else building, especially when it came to food and all that. So you're just like, oh my god, I'm running out of people. And you gotta like just slowly build houses. You gotta add more farms and stuff. But like I said, there's one part where once you get to it, so it's like snowball down the hill. Like, oh, I can really start making more houses and apartments and stuff like that. Which is all these row houses, basically apartments. And so once you're able to do all this, like once you start being able to build this, you really start being able to add on to the economy. Unfortunately, there's no war stuff. I can't make an army. If I want to do that, I go to Banner Lords, which is similar, but like the medieval period. So oh, look at all the ants. They're all running. Is that a kid? Oh, okay. Oh, you're playing. Oh, come on. You're 14. You could do more than that of just playing around. Kuzma is trick. Where is government? Where do I put this? Do I put the, you know what? Put it where the old place was. Where is education? Primary school. Boom, boom, flips that around. Put that there. Government, town. Put that there. Can I move this? Settings. See, I don't want to destroy the cards, but I want to move it. Health, barber, primary, decoration. Yeah, that's what you do. Put the trading post right behind the government, the mayor's house, or the government building, whatever you want to call it. No reachable limestone. I don't care about limestone. Isn't this limestone or is this rock? Stone deposit. Okay, that's stone. And you got limestone right there. Limestone? Okay, that is done. Now I just need, I think, one more house to get the priest in. PT sucks, but I gotta do it so I don't get fat and I lose some more weight. Getting up at 4 a.m. sucks. But it is to stay healthy, technically. Gotta pass that PT test, man. Even officers have to do it, no matter how much they pay. And then I gotta go make money before coming home and having my talk with you guys, my troopers and nurses. Yeah. So. I do think I picked up the lingo pretty good. So speed up feels like it's going slow, but oh well. 55, 73. See, it doesn't count till he's in there, so. They got little designs, not all of them, but some. The cabbage. Cucumber sold. Huh. This was busy. What are you collecting? Oh, it's not harvest season right now, so a lot of these guys probably do not have anything made. And oh, these guys have beeswax. Honey. Oh my god, that's a lot of honey. How many raspberries have they sold? Where's that raspberry one? Raspberries. Okay, you have not picked up any raspberries. So what I will do is delete that. Where's honey, 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 honey? Buy from local. There. What's the honey one under? When is honey under? Oh, honey's there. So let's switch that with beer. Honey. Beer. There we go. I do wish they made like a marketplace instead of a market stall where it'd be like 3 to 6 or 4 to 6 of these stalls all in one, or the amount it can have. So I don't have to place 10, 12, 13 of these guys to get all this stuff to market. Kind of annoying. Probably like the. Please tell me I have. Okay. And how much iron do I got there? None. Yeah, I know. It's because he's going slow. Pop the back. Alright. Well. Alright. Well, guess we can leave it at that. Let's hit save. There we go. Alright. Well, thanks for coming to the meeting, guys. Y'all are dismissed.